Amelia Earhart disappears. The famous aviator Amelia Earhart, the first woman to complete a solo flight across the Atlantic, has disappeared along with her navigator Fred Noonan near Howland Island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The two were attempting a flight around the entire world in their twin-engine Lockheed Electroplane when they vanished. A search for the missing aviators is now being conducted by the US Navy and the Coast Guard, but there is little hope of finding them. So from the previous time, in the Italy game, which was the best of all possible worlds, this is the worst of all possible worlds, where both Hindenburg and Amelia went down. Leadership urges in the Soviet Union. Uncertainty has long reigned in the Soviet Union. While details are scarce, there have been a series of secret trials on the highest level, and both generals and ministers have disappeared from the public eye. The national assumption is that some great conspiracy has been uncovered within the Communist Party, but no official statement has been made. In addition, the diplomatic reports we have access to indicates that evidence presented at these trials has been far from indisputable. Whatever has been happening, the structure of the Soviet High Command has changed irrevocably. Convoy escort's done. I don't care about escort carriers, so at this point we can switch to battle fleet concentration. '11 army experience. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. Developments in Canada. Complete. What's tension at? Still 1%. Okay, let's go and develop Australia then. An investment in Australia's shipyards and industry will provide a boost to their economy and allow them to provide a greater contribution in the event of war. Japan declared war on China. And there's the world tension. Marco Polo Bridge Incident. Japanese and Chinese forces have skirmished inconclusively over the strategic Marco Polo Bridge, located just southwest of Beijing. China has rejected Japan's demands for an apology and territorial concessions, claiming instead that the breaking point of Japanese aggression has been reached. Diplomats fear that the volatile situation could result in war at any time. And actually, we're only 6 days in, so we could cancel this and get the Shadow scheme now, which would allow me to get all of this stuff. You know what? I think that's probably a better idea. Sorry, Australia. The Air Ministry has come up with a brilliant suggestion for easier conversion of civilian factories to military ones. We've seen those before. So I'm just going to go ahead. Jibai Sun Ma joins the Chinese United Front. Earlier today, China and Sibai Shan Ma issued a joint statement that the latter has now been formally granted member states of the Chinese United Front. Yunnan joins, Xinjiang joins. And I guess that Shaanxi made peace with Communist China. Seems to have. Ah, and we can modify our government again. Weapons and equipment research speed, I suspect, will be the most useful. Getting some kind of ship designer might be good too, although the next ships don't become available until 1940, do they? Nope, except for the battleship. But I probably have enough heavy warships in the meantime. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. So yeah, I think weapons designer. RSAF Enfield. Tank designer is not going to be relevant until 41. Aircraft until 40, actually. There are new aircraft systems now, still 40 though. Okay, so yeah. We're going to get the weapon designer. Because we are going to have new weapon designs in 39. Plus these two will now be researched quicker. Getting very, very close in terms of army experience. Tomorrow, in fact, there it is. Boom. Okay, so with great happiness, I can now announce that we are adding our heavy tank destroyers to our infantry divisions. Boop. All in. So all of these guys now have heavy tanks. And will also require a bunch of new training once their equipment actually arrives. So let's go ahead and split you out. And how much are we lacking still? Fair amount. All in. Really, you lose that much strength because you're missing heavy tanks? Wow. All in. I will admit I did not expect that. Okay. Meanwhile, new technology. August 37. Oh, there are a couple of 1936 planes we don't have yet, like the Hurricane. I'm gonna wait. Feels a bit dangerous, but I'm gonna do it. We're gonna get artillery upgrade instead. Because now I do need to wait until we have the political power to get these. Although, hold on. Rocket tech research, jet fighters, agility and max speed. I mean, that can be changed later. Paratroopers, heavy bombers, maritime patrol, tactical bomber, torpedo bomber, and CV naval bomber. So this is the stuff at sea. Oh, I see. These guys do better CVs, while these guys do better maritime. Strategic bombing, heavy fighter production cost reduction, medium bomber production cost reduction, reliability goes up, Bristol aeroplane, massive boost to reliability, but I think we're probably going to go for dive bombers, ground attack and reliability, or fighters. I think we're probably going to go fighters, let's face it. Supermarine were just awesome. Hi guys, what is Road to 56? It's just another mod for Hearts of Iron, which is more, well, it's real world, it just adds loads of stuff, like massively overhauled technology trees. Trying to give you the most interesting examples. There you go. And I think basically every country has a focus tree now. Many of them are just vanilla, like the British one is fairly standard. But you can also switch to the mod one, which is the state visit to Germany, which is the fascist branch. But we're staying democratic. Because this game would be a bit boring if everyone went fascist. Latvia, Lithuania have allied to each other. Alright then. How are the refits coming along? There are still a lot to do, but we are now on the cruisers. So all of the destroyers are finished. We just had the Danae R2s and the Onsungs to finish. And we are just 1,000 guns short now, and a lot of heavy tanks. So what I think I'm... Yeah, do I want to do this? I'm not sure I want to do this. Shadow scheme is finished. I'm wondering if I want to increase the amount of heavy tanks we're producing and reduce, say, the amount of regular guns we're doing. I think I will. Like so. Industrial effort. More research bonuses, and then we can also get the research slot. And Royal Ordnance factories is going to be a bunch of military factories that we can use. We still can't get general rearmament, but we can at least start getting these. Focus all of our political efforts on building up civilian industry and a great leap forwards. We also need to do some of the political ones at some point. Do we still have the fight for the Dutch economy? No, this is a different focus tree. Okay. Once we get towards the end of 38, then we can start thinking about actually assigning fleets to admirals and actually giving them orders, but right now we're fine. Wait, if vanilla UK is Mosley Rice as fascist, then what does the mod do if you go fascist? I don't actually know, I was wondering that. Every country that does not have a focus tree gets a Road to 56 unique basic focus tree. Oh, right, yeah. But what about the countries that do have a focus tree and then have a further fascist focus tree which is kind of on top of their own focus tree, like Britain? Because I was wondering that too. For instance, we have organised the Black Shirts, which is the British fascist path, but we also have the state visits to Germany, which is another fascist path, apparently. It's just that one is like the British Empire, which is the new one, not the vanilla one. Okay, so we're almost getting into a position where we can choose what we want to build. Do we want to get Hawker or do we want Supermarine? I'm actually thinking maybe Hawker. Get our dive bombers better. Do we have dive bombers done yet? Yes, we have the Hector, but not the Typhoon. Huzzah! Ordinary Seaman, thank you very much for the subscription. Very much appreciate that. Welcome to the Maudlings. Good to have you on board. Piero, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. I credit you for making me like Hearts of Iron 4. I guess I'm pleased about that. Had you said that about a year ago, I would have been like... But actually, since Man the Guns, I have to say I legitimately like it now. Achtung, baby, thank you very much for the follow. And Ordinary Seaman, after subscribing, thank you very much for the follow. Not many people will do it in that order. Thank you very much. Welcome to the stream. Nah, since Man the Guns, I really like this, and I'm genuinely excited for La Resistance. Like, they released another dev diary today, actually, which talks more about collaboration governments and things like that, and it looks pretty good. I am excited. Please. More air defense, less agility, more ground attack. So again, this is like a fighter bomber. Oh, the Blenheim has added close air support ability. Also longer range. Slower. So yeah, these are again fighter bombers. They're going to be slightly better at gunning people down, but not as good anti-air. So what about like the Halifax? Oh, the Handy Page Halifax is purely strategic bombing, whereas the GR2 is a naval and port strike bomber. Oh. Hold on. So what's the difference between these two then? The Hadley Page Halifax has a shorter range, much better air attack, same cost, better air defense, less agility, same air superiority, naval attack of 14 versus naval attack of 10. Oh, the Hadley Page GR2s are actually better naval bombers for the same cost. And they're also faster, so they would be harder to shoot down, especially with that air defense. So these guys would be amazing in the Mediterranean. Huh. Well, that does change some things. What about these? Bowfoots versus the Mark 6. Same bombing areas, same range, air attack's the same, strap bomb of the standard one is better, the naval attack of these guys is better. What about versus the... I need to do these in the same tier. You versus you. These can also ground attack, air defense is not as good. Agility of these is a lot better, so is their air superiority. Naval targeting is a lot better, so these are port strikes, these are naval. Naval attack 16 against naval attack 14. They're also fairly significantly cheaper. Huh. Alright, so Vickers Wellington versus Maritime. Maritime is longer range. Maritime is the better air attack. Wellington has a slightly better air defense, though it's minimal. Wellington has better agility. And better air superiority. Naval attack, these are fairly significantly better at naval attacks. They can also be used for ground attacks, though they aren't amazing at it. Interesting, so these are actually the best naval bombers. Okay, noted. Which means what? They count as medium bombers, so we could get very cheap Halivards or... That's it, we just get cheap ones. Oh, better reliability. Which is the Bristols. The point of the Maritime Patrol is the very, very long range. Like, go from northern Germany and anything around Italy and Greece as far north as the map goes. Yeah, that's what I assumed. The Maritimes are your land-based recon aircraft. They're not really there to do damage, though they will do some. They're there mostly to find enemy ships. Alright, new question. What's the cost difference between a Maritime and a Wellington bomber? Maritimes are significantly more expensive, so I might as well just go for the Vickers Wellingtons, because I have naval bases everywhere. In which case I need to start researching heavy bombers. No, sorry, medium bombers soon. Well, this also calls into question which aircraft designer I was going to get. This information's coming at a good time. I can go for the extra reliability, which will allow me to pack in more upgrades for my heavy fighters and my medium bombers. Or I go for the CAS, which is better dive bombers, just straight up better. That reliability bonus is also nice. Or just straight up more agility, max speed for fighters, which does make them fairly significantly better at dogfighting. Now, how does all of this compare to a naval torpedo bomber? Which does not have as good... Oh yes, it does. It has a slightly better naval attack, but the range is pathetic in comparison. We do want the range. These are actually faster, quite significantly so. Harder to shoot down. Oh wait, that's the Halifax. I'm at the Wellington. The speed difference is even more pronounced, and these guys do more naval attack. The benefit these have is they can go on a carrier. Yeah, we're going to go for the Vickers Wellington. So is that a thing I need to research? Yes. I have a huge navy. I'm not going to be very reliant on naval bombers. I think I'm still going to go for Hawker. Provide as good close air support as I can, because we're going to have a lot of light aircraft. So we're still going to research Hawker aircraft. However, this is now going to make me research light bombers. Medium bombers, rather. We're going to get Wellingtons. And then we're going to do this, and then this. Boom. The fall of Beijing. After a failed raid of the Japanese frontline headquarters, the Chinese suffered enormous casualties. In order to prevent further casualties, the Chinese commander has ordered the troops to retreat out of Beijing. The Japanese army later marched into the city with minimal resistance. The Forbidden Palace is reported to have had some artifacts removed by the Japanese. Fortunately, most of it was evacuated back in 1933 to the south, and the Japanese were only able to remove a few large bronze tubs and a few pieces of cannon. One of the best strategies of maritime patrol is to use them to cut off supply lines for the USSR and England and Germany, as you can send them out to hit sea regions beyond any point your foe can protect and sink all their convoys out in open water. That's interesting. Which is why this game really needs to have the ability to shoot down aircraft in every air zone they go through. And it's bonkers that that's not a thing. Like being able to shoot down bombers over the English Channel, for example, before they hit the south of England, would be rather nice. But you can't. Right, so we were going to go for fighter upgrades, so we can at least get the Hurricanes. Wait. Why am I getting the fighter bonuses on this? Oh, I'd get them on everything. Okay. I don't know if that's actually true or not. Oh, because of the research bonus. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, that probably is true. Fair enough. I do like how, even though we have the Hawker background, this does not upgrade the Hawker Hurricane in terms of their stats. Kalinicus, thank you for... Whoa, crikey! Thank you so much for that donation. That is incredibly generous. Looking forward to more of the same great Mordred content powered by a faster CPU. And that is, if I'm correct... I think we've reached it, haven't we? I can't actually see. The preview's too small. Hang on, let me just move that across so I can read it. Yeah, we have. Boom. So, thank you. That is incredibly generous. That is amazing. And just in time. Because it is Black Friday on Friday, I was gonna start shopping for the CPU, motherboard, cooler, and memory that I'm gonna need for the upgrades on Black Friday. And now I have the funds to actually do it, so... Thank you so much, really. Awesome. I was honestly hoping that this would get done like around Christmas maybe? So you have beaten my estimates by a full month. You guys are ridiculous. Thank you so much. That is crazy. Over by £2. Well done, Maud. Not well done me, well done you guys. Like, you are the ones who made that happen. So, thank you so much. That is utterly bonkers. We've had 2 extremely generous donations today, which has gotten us over the edge, so thank you. Wow. Never expected that to happen so quickly. That's insane. Thank you. Those £2 go into the tea fund. Well, I'm still drinking this rather excellent Cambodian tea. Like, it looks really like Chinese tea, and that is quite light. Like, I don't know if you can see it from there. It's quite a light tea, but it's really good. I usually like the darker teas, but this is excellent. Unfortunately, I have no intention of going to Cambodia anytime soon to pick up more, but there we go. Our industrial expansion and other recent advances might allow us to conduct more R&D in parallel. I would love to have another research. Thank you so much. And now you're just sending it way over. Thank you very much, Chibi, as well. I want the number to be even. You got it, I think. Should be. Again, I can't see it. It's too small. Yep, that's a very even and rather awesome number. You guys are utterly ridiculous. Thank you so much. Ace generation, air wing experience, or air superiority and air wing mission experience. We're going to go with that. They rebalanced this slightly, which I quite like. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's going to be fun shopping for this stuff now. And I might be going back a little bit on my AMD versus Intel. Like, talking to Bussy and Dana and a couple of other people, you guys are kind of suggesting that AMD is better at the moment, so maybe I will go for that. But I'm going to spend some time on tomorrow and Friday researching that before I start doing the stream. So hopefully I have some good news on the Friday stream saying, this is what I've ordered. This is what we're going with. So I want to donate just 1 penny now just to mess with Chippy. Oh, please don't. I feel this game is some of the better mods for strategy games out there. I would kind of, well, they all have good ones. Now here's a question. Do we want dispersed or integrated? Because I'm sure I read somewhere that you have to have 3 artillery to make dispersed. Or maybe you need to have 3 support companies that do damage. That might be what it was. We're going to go dispersed. I just like dispersed. Why are we not playing Command & Conquer Red Alert? Because waiting for the update, I guess. Maybe. Although, speaking of updates, I really should give Age of Empires a go at some point.